Welcome to All West on Wire today. We're talking about Bersatu Youth's aggressive push for accountability regarding the tourism minister. So yeah, a pretty big political storm brewing, wouldn't you say? It's gone way past just a simple mistake.
Definitely. It's become a major flashpoint.
We're looking right at this very strong demand from Bersatu Youth. Harris Ibrahim Rashid, their information chief, is leading the charge against tourism minister Tiong Singh.
That's right.
And I guess the real question for people watching is this genuinely about negligence? Or is it more political maneuvering, trying to rock the boat for the current government?
What's clear straight away is the opposition sees an opening. They're framing this as an ethical failure, something they can really leverage politically.
Right, not just a slip-up.
Exactly. They're painting it as a sign of deeper problems, a lack of proper oversight within the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, MOTAC,
Okay.
Right now.
Let's break it down then, starting with what actually kicked this all off. It was that dinner, wasn't it? During the 2025 Global Tourism Congress, Bersatu Youth found out alcohol was served.
Yes, that was the immediate trigger.
And they jumped on it, called it totally unacceptable, a huge administrative error.
And Minister Tiong Singh, he responded pretty quickly, didn't he? He put out a defense.
Yeah, what was his line?
He argued that the catering, the food, the drinks, all of that was handled entirely by the industry bodies involved, not by a government agency directly.
Ah, okay. So trying to create some distance, like it wasn't us who ordered it.
Precisely. That seems to be the angle, to separate the ministry itself from the specific choice of beverages served.
But Harris Ibrahim Rashid, he wasn't having any of it.
No, he rejected that explanation outright.
Called it, what was the phrase? Underestimating the intelligence of the people. Pretty blunt.
Very blunt. And his core argument, the reason he's saying this is because the Tourism Bureau...
Which is part of MOTAC.
Exactly. The Tourism Bureau was the sole organizer of the whole Congress.
Right. So how can the ministry say it's not their responsibility when their own agency ran the show? That's the argument.
That's the crux of it, yeah. Legally, ethically, Bersatu Youth's position is, if your agency is the sole organizer, you can't just shrug off what happens at the event. Doesn't matter who technically signed the catering papers.
Hmm.
And Harris also pointed out, apparently, that the dinner was right there on the official schedule, day one of the conference.
So it wasn't some secret side event. It was part of the main program.
Making it much harder, they argue, for the ministry to say, oh, we didn't know, or it wasn't really our event. The minister, therefore, should be accountable for what they see as a failure to, enforce certain standards.
Okay, but let's be fair for a second. Lots of big government events use outside caterers, right? Event managers.
Yeah, that's standard practice. Absolutely being weaponized. There's no doubt about that. For Bersatu Youth, this plays right into their base. It's framed as a failure of cultural sensitivity, not just an admin slip.
Right. Puts the unity government on the defensive.
Completely. They have to defend their oversight, their sensitivity, under a very harsh spotlight. And the next logical step for the opposition.
Aim higher.
Exactly. Go straight for the top. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim.
So now it's not just about Tiong Singh anymore. It's a demand for the Prime Minister himself to step in.
Yes, Harris Ibrahim Rashid and Bersatu Youth are calling on Anwar to show strong leadership, to stop defending Tiong Singh on this specific issue.
That puts the PM in a tricky spot, doesn't it, given coalition politics and all that?
Extremely tricky. Bersatu Youth is demanding MOTAC publicly admit the mistake about the alcohol, issue an apology, and basically stop making excuses.
But Minister Tiong is from a key party in the coalition.
Precisely. So Anwar has to balance keeping the coalition stable with responding to this pressure. It forces a difficult choice.
And they're framing it as a real test, aren't they? Harris is saying, look, this was a serious error involving alcoholic beverages. The government has to show accountability.
Yes, to prove that principles still exist within the administrative system, I think was the quote.
That's heavy stuff to hang on a dinner menu.
It is, but it's strategically designed that way. Make the prime minister choose, defend your ally, or uphold these perceived ethical standards the opposition is pushing.
And either way, the opposition kind of wins.
That's the political calculation, yes. If Anwar defends Tiong, they'll shout about lack of oversight, cronyism maybe. If he disciplines Tiong, it could cause cracks in the coalition. It's a move designed to create instability, whatever the outcome.
And this is where it gets broader, right?
Yeah.
Because Harris Ibrahim Rashid didn't just stop at the dinner.
No, not at all.
He used this incident, framed it as like the tipping point, the latest example in a pattern of alleged failures under the minister.
Exactly. suggesting it's not just one mistake, but a sign of a consistent lack of control over the ministry's affairs.
It's a classic political move, isn't it? Pile up the grievances.
Build a case. Make it look a systemic failure, not just isolated incidents.
Yeah.
They listed, what, 3 other controversies?
Yeah, let's touch on those. What were they again? There was the promotional video.
Ah, yes, the 2026 Malaysia Tourism Year video. That caused quite a stir.
Stir is putting it mildly. It got hammered online, didn't it? For, well, looking cheap or poorly made.
It faced immediate and pretty widespread public criticism, yeah. Poor quality, bad execution. In today's world, a publicly funded promo video that instantly becomes a joke online, that's a PR nightmare.
And Bersatu Youth connects that directly back to the minister.
Absolutely. The narrative becomes he's overseeing projects where public money is being wasted, resulting in national embarrassment. It feeds the lack of control idea.
Okay, what was next? Something about personnel.
The demotion of the former Director General of the Tourism Bureau.
Why bring up an internal staffing decision? How does that become part of this public attack?
Because it can be spun as evidence of mismanagement within the ministry, or even, getting rid of people who might disagree or expose problems.
Ah, so it adds to the picture of poor governance, instability inside MOTAC.
That's the suggestion, yes, that capable people are being pushed out, hindering the ministry's effectiveness, again, reinforcing that narrative of weak leadership or poor internal control.
And the third one, that was the big one before this dinner thing, wasn't it? The KLIA incident.
The detention of Chinese tourists at Kuala Lumpur International Airport by the Immigration Department. Yes, that created a lot of chaos and bad press.
But that involved immigration, another ministry, Home Affairs.
Right. It was complex, involving multiple agencies, but it massively impacted tourism's image.
So why pin it on Tiong?
Because he's the tourism minister. He's the one responsible for the country's image as a tourist destination for ensuring visitors have a good experience. And he was very publicly involved in that incident, defending the tourists.
Right, I remember that.
So by bringing it up, Bersatu Youth accuses him of failing to manage the fallout, failing to protect Malaysia's reputation internationally, even when other agencies were involved. It all gets bundled under his watch.
So you take the video, the demotion, the KLIA incident, and now this dinner. Harris is basically saying, look at this track record.
Pretty much. He's arguing that if the Prime Minister doesn't act now on this whole collection of issues,
then it confirms the idea that ministers are untouchable, immune from accountability.
That's the political conclusion they want the public to draw. That's the pressure point on Anwar Ibrahim.
So it's less about Tiong King Sing himself, maybe, and more about testing the whole unity government. Its integrity, its solidarity.
I think that's a fair analysis. They're using every perceived weakness, every administrative slip-up, every ethical question mark,
to make as much noise as possible.
and put maximum pressure on the entire government structure.
But really, do these things truly add up? A promo video, a personnel move, an airport issue handled by someone else, and now a dinner. Is that really enough to demand a minister go? Or is it just, political theater aimed squarely at the PM?
Strategically, it's less about whether each individual complaint holds up under intense scrutiny, and more about the cumulative effect. Create a list.
The weight of the list itself.
Exactly. The hope is the public stops looking at the details of each one and just sees a pattern of problems linked to one ministry, one minister.
It definitely shows how high the stakes are for ministers here, doesn't it? Any perceived slip.
And it immediately becomes ammunition for the opposition. It highlights just how volatile the political landscape can be. Even relatively minor administrative issues can be blown up into major political challenges, especially in coalition government.
So the demand for accountability is definitely loud, no question there. But I guess the final thought for everyone watching is this. MOTAC's agency organized the event. Is the minister saying catering was outsourced a good enough explanation? Does that satisfy the need for oversight?
Or is the political pressure from the opposition just too strong now for the Prime Minister to simply ignore it?
What do you think? Where does the book stop in a situation like this? Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.